Hello, everybody. This is Kyrix with another edition of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, what is it, April? Yes, April 19th of 2017. You'll note a distinct lack of Stardew Valley. Sorry to say that's going to be the case for the next couple weeks because my controller's on the fritz. Part of me wants to think, oh, well, you people already know that. I've been recording. Well, then I remembered those haven't aired yet. Yeah, amidst recording Final Fantasy II, Dawn of Souls, for the Game Boy Advance, I had some issues with the controller where it just would disconnect and reconnect at random. And I don't mean like, oh, the cord came out. No, the cord was jiggled or jostled just a teensy bit. Like, I would move the control like half a degree up, and that would have enough through this friggin' 4-foot cord that it would trip something, and it's like, oh, no, it's disconnected. Oh, no, it's back in now. And this has three problems. One, it has a loud sound, which sounds like... Oh, shit, where'd it go? Like this. You'll hear this sound, which will probably carry over the speakers. Yes? No? Maybe not. But it would have a sound like doo-doo-doo or whatever. And another one for disconnecting. I don't know, maybe the computer's lagging right now. That's probably the case. Which, fortunately, you won't see because there's no video. But that's problem number one. Problem number two is it would disrupt my control scheme, and sometimes I'm in a hurry. Not so much an issue in Stardew Valley or Final Fantasy, but what if I was playing, say, Legacy of Goku 3, Boo's Fury? That could be a real problem. And even those two things are just minor annoyances. The real annoyance is the fact that I know from previous experience with a previous laptop that if it connects, disconnects, and keeps doing that enough times in a short span of time, it will crash the computer, which will kill my recording and fuck with my save data. Especially if I've saved already in that video, it could completely lose the previous recording, and there will be footage that will be lost forever. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to have some extra money next month. Real iffy, given my situation. But we're going to see what happens. And I'm going to hit up eBay and get a new Logitech controller, which is what I use. This one's actually been running for a year or two, which is pretty good for me. Especially since I stopped playing with the computer on my tummy, for the most part. I'll do recreational Stardew Valley like that, but everything else for recordings and such I do on the desk with a flat thing. And that's where I was having issues, is at the desk, so I know it's a problem. It's one thing if I'm doing this recreationally, just, gaming on my own time and it's disconnected and reconnecting, but I don't want that shit in my videos if I can avoid it. But gonna pick up a new controller. Once that's in, I'm gonna go back to recording Final Fantasy II, back to doing Stardew Valley for This Week in Kyrix, and so on. That being said, I am still getting shit done. Don't worry. I was actively recording Final Fantasy II, which goes up in, I believe, June. So I can look at my schedules. 2017 schedule, please. Yeah, I have these up on a little notepad. Pad thingy or whatever. And I have my whole schedule every single day of well, not every year, but every single day of the year. Let's see. No. Looks like July is when Final Fantasy II Episode 1 goes up. So I've got 2 months. 2 months and a couple days. Let's take a look here. Yeah, and I think that's on a Friday. I've got 12 weeks to get a controller and finish Final Fantasy II. And honestly, that game's going at a pretty impressive clip. In the meantime, I have not been idle. I have been recording Suikoden 2, which airs on August 2nd of this year. So I'm like, well, those are the two besides Xenoverse, those are the two that need to be done. And even Xenoverse, I think I'm caught up until like June or something. Let me take a look. Xenoverse, I have recorded as far as 74. And 74 gets me to May 27th. So yeah, I don't have as long, but I can grind that out once I get off my lazy ass and put it to work. So those are the three major things I gotta worry about, because I've got enough Undertale to get me through the year, though I do need to finish that shit too. Xenoverse goes up, and then that's 2017. That's all of it. That's everything that I need to do. Like, scrolling all the way down to December, I have, let's see, 3 gaps. One is Final Fantasy, one is Suikoden, Undertale isn't one, Metal Gear isn't one. What's the other thing that I'm missing? It's between Undertale and Star Wars. Ah, the Bureau, XCOM. And honestly, I've got some more XCOM videos to air. So I've got a couple things. Let's see, where's 25? Seven weeks unscheduled for this. And honestly, I could probably drop Resident Evil Revelations in that gap. And that's good for 50 fucking weeks. So I've got stuff on the pipe. I've got a couple bonus episodes of The Bureau to record. So I'm sitting pretty this year. This year's looking good. Like I said, I haven't been idle. I've been more idle than I should be, but not completely. Like I've started diving into Suikoden 2. I've actually got it booted up right now on the TV to do some grinding. Because I started to do some grinding, and then I walked into an area I shouldn't have that started a recruitment thing, so I quickly hit reset. And I'm like, no, I'm done for the night. But, yeah, that's the thing. So, Suikoden 2, I'm working on as a side thing, doing grinding and shit. I'm working on as the actual Let's Play. I would get recordings done now, but me and Jay are scheduled to watch some stuff when he wakes up from a nap. He'll get on Skype and ding me, you know? And I don't know if his nap's going to be over at like 7 or like 2:30 in the afternoon or what. So I don't want to be recording and like, bleep, time for TV, you know? So, not recording anything. But I've got stuff. I'm getting stuff recorded. I'm still on track. I'm still ahead of schedule. The only thing that's really slipping is Xenoverse. And if you want to get completely technical, I'm not going to, but I could easily throw up Resident Evil Revelations 2 in any slot if I fall behind on something, and throw Phantom Pain up while frickin' Ground Zeroes is airing as well. And I've got like 39 episodes of that recorded already, and I'm still got more to go. I've got shit that I can plug holes with, basically. So, yeah, this is than my Twitch videos usually get, but that's mostly because I'm in the middle of a game, and I don't want to minimize the game and look through files, although I have done it on occasion. So, plus, honestly, this week isn't that eventful, although I've got a turkey sitting in the freezer, which is nice. That's stuff in the world of me, you know. I'm probably going to pull that out the fridge, or the freezer in a day or two, probably later today, and put it in the fridge to thaw for a couple days, and make that up. I'm going to try and get some bread, because the last turkey didn't last me more than a day. Within 24 hours, I'd eaten all the meat off that I was going to, so I need bread to stretch that shit out. I'm actually eating frosting right now. Yeah, I know, kind of white trashy, don't care. Basically, I'm at the end of the month, because they had cut my stamps by $50, so I'm down to 2/3 of what I had last year. You know, so I'm still adjusting to, you know, missing 1/3 of my budget. So basically, I've been eating all sorts of stuff. Like, I had the turkey for that one day, ate the last of my waffles, ate the last of my mac and tuna. Jello. I actually made 2 things of Jello. Well, 2 packs of blue and 2 of green, so 2 separate bowls. So basically, 4 cups of hot water, stir in the Jello, put 4 cups, basically 8, maybe 9 cups once you add the actual Jello itself, of blue and of green, and I just ate the last of the green. Blue was yesterday. So I've been eating Jello for a couple days, just trying to get something in the stomach to shut it up. And when the stomach is done with my bullshit, it's like, okay, put something actual in there. Ramen. Well, I don't want to cook ramen right now, so I fucking broke out the frosting because my aunt gave me a yellow cake mix and 2 cans of frosting, and I don't think I like yellow cake. So chances are I'm not going to eat it if I do make it. So I'm like, fuck it, that's my frosting, I'm going to eat it. I've got plenty of ramen to get me through the month, I'm just too lazy to cook it right now. Also got a bag of popcorn in here somewhere, I see it. And I've got some eggs. 5 eggs that the roommate got, because he'll buy eggs to make something, and then not eat them, because I'm the only one in the house that eats just eggs. So, it's like, hey, I bought half a dozen eggs, I need 1, the other 5 are yours. I'm like, cool. And I haven't eaten him yet, so I'm probably going to do that in the morning when he wakes up. Matter of fact, I'll probably do that within the next hour when he wakes up, because it's 6:30 in the morning. But, yeah, this week, nothing really happened. Although, roommates are thinking about getting pets of their own. She's talking about getting a cat, he's talking about getting a dog. I don't care. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with more animals in the house, because they're not my responsibility. I've got my hands full with my girls. But I don't have to pay for them, I don't have to feed them, I ain't got none of that shit. So, as long as they're not mean to my girls, and my girls aren't mean to them, I'm cool. And honestly, with a cat, everyone except Willow is gonna have an adjustment period with that cat. It's just a fact. Willow's gonna take to it just fine. The cat might not, but Willow will. And the others will get to a point where they either like the cat or completely ignore it, which is what they've done with each other. Takes a couple months, but they'll get there. With the dog, they'll just avoid the dog if they don't like the dog. You never know, they might love the dog. Willow loves dogs. Winkles tolerates dogs. And even Oreo is getting to the point where she'll at least let the dog near her. So, who knows? Who knows if we could get to that point. He's talking about getting a lab, which I'm fine with, especially since if it shits in the house, there's no way he can blame it on my dog, because I got a Chihuahua. There is no comparison in the turd size. Hell, my friend's got a freaking little Boston Terrier who's only about double the size of mine, mostly in width. He's a fucking sausage dog. But the droppings he leaves are like 5 times the size of hers. And he's still not even up to my knee in height. He's like maybe 2 inches taller than her. He's just thicker. So there's no way in hell a lab poop's going to be mistaken for Chihuahua or cat poop. So that's the thing. Been recording Suikoden, was working on FF2, was actually shooting through that at a nice clip. I have 10 episodes of that done. Keep in mind, those are almost all half-hour episodes. There were like 1 or 2 that were like 20 or so, because I got to what I figured was a good stopping point or something came up. But also been working on Res Rev 1, though I stopped that for a while because it's a little more complicated than most of my Let's Plays in that I'm trying for a 100% collection run in a game where going back means literally restarting the game if I miss something, and I don't feel like doing that. But, HeroClix. Oh boy, I went to HeroClix today. Today was a booster draft, a gravity feed booster draft, which are single-figure boosters, for the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie set, which contains apparently 16 figures. I was broke. I would have stayed home, but I'm like, no, I always stay home for the movie sets. The only movie set I have shit from that wasn't just given to me is Iron Man 3, and I have all but the Target shit. And even with the Target shit, I still have the Chase from Target, because a friend of mine had 2 of them, and I traded him something for it. But, yeah. Got up there, one of the guys bought a case of 24, and he's like, you can pull out of mine. Yeah. I showed up to try and win a booster. We had 8 people. I came in 8th. We had 7 boosters. I did not get one. And the guy I got the boosters from, and he's like, oh, well, it would have been my booster. And I'm like, no, it's not. Well, I paid for your entry. I'm like, no, you paid for my boosters. I would still win the booster, the actual Deadpool booster, because we were playing Guardians, we were trying to clear out a Deadpool stock. I would have still gotten the Deadpool booster, because that happens with the judge all the time, where he'll buy the boosters and loan them to me, and if I win, it's mine. You know, that's how I pull a lot of shit. That's why I have as much shit from Deadpool as I have. That and begging figures. But, yeah, really nothing's gone on this week. Next week will be the good episode, because next week I'll have had my Star Trek tournament on Saturday. Monday I'll have had my friend come up fix both my bikes, because the one I have been using, the front tire went flat. So he's going to need to patch that. And my old bike, which I'm now using, has no brakes, so that's going to need a little patch job too. And so I'll have had the barbecue as well, and then I'll have had next week's HeroClix tournament. So 2 tournaments and a barbecue to talk about. I'm looking forward to next week's tournament, though. Next week is 400 points X-Men. Has to be X-Men. And I asked him, I'm like, well, can it be any X team? Like, can I play Excalibur, X-Force, X-Statics? No, has to be X-Men. You know? I'm like, okay, question 2. Certain characters have the X-Force keyword, and there's a ATA called Uncanny that if you have X-Force, it gives you New Mutants and X-Men keywords. He's like, no, has to be on the card. I'm like, okay. My original team was going to be Angel from Uncanny X-Men. It was the all-new, all-different X-Men thingy or whatever. To him. Professor X from Giant Size, who has this really cool ability where he sits in my starting area and snipes through other figures. Cyclops from Uncanny, Dupe from Deadpool, and what was it? Oh, Iceman from, what was it? Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends team base. But I might not play that team because I came up with something clever. Because he mentioned whoever comes up with the cleverest team is going to get a prize. I'm going to dig out, I'm going to try and do it tomorrow, I'm going to dig out my Krakoa map, which was Krakoa, the Living Island. And if I can't find mine, I'm going to ask for his. The judge. And I'm going to play the Giant Size X-Men team, which is Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, Wolverine, Sunfire, Thunderbird, Cyclops, and I have Xavier, but I might go for the full team and get Banshee, but that requires the judge to dig out Rookie Banshee from Armor Wars, which I don't think he's going to do. Which would give me the actual team that went to Krakoa to rescue the X-Men. So we'll see. I think that's pretty clever. And I would play my Banshee, which is from Deadpool, if he weren't, 70 points more, and it would put me fucking put me 70 points over. If it were 500 points, I'd have probably played all new X-Men, or something along those lines, but it's 400, I gotta work with that. But it seems like it's a fun team, and honestly, even though I'm snarking about it in my head, I'm thinking, this is a Swarm team, and they're not bad figures, they're just low cost, and I don't have much faith in low cost figures to carry a team by themselves. But there's also 8 of them. And like I said, I'm subbing in Xavier, who is a 50-point little astral projection super mind control Xavier. So we'll see. I don't really use mind control as a rule. But that's just because it's kind of quirky. But when I do use it, I use it pretty well. To fairly devastating effect. It's just a power that a lot of people write off. And that's why every time it's used, it bites people in the ass because they never see it coming. No one sees Xavier and thinks, oh, he's going to mind control me. No, they think Psychic Blast or Outwit. And I apologize for those of you playing HeroClix, or who don't play HeroClix, who have no idea what I'm talking about. On a side note, for those of you who actually are listening, none of you, but for those of you who are listening, I don't know how many people you follow on YouTube, but it's been a thing where YouTube is fucking over content creators in a big way. It doesn't affect me in the slightest because I don't monetize, but there are a lot of YouTubers out there who monetize, and YouTube is their job. That's what they do for a living. and YouTube's cutting their ad revenue and demonetizing their videos and fucking blacklisting them and hiding shit. And some people with really high subscriber counts are losing like 40 subscribers each time they upload a video just because of some fuck up in the algorithms, you know? So I encourage you, those of you who have money, why aren't you donating to me? No. Try and support them if you can, or at the very least give them views, you know? Give comments supporting them, you know? God, I've never been so happy that I've never tried to monetize my videos. I've never been so happy about that. Because I would be so fucked right now. Especially if I made just enough to cancel my disability, which would be possible, which I don't know why that would be a thing. Because you could be disabled and still let's play. Or blog, or vlog, or whatever, you know, but I would be so fucked right now because my money be out the goddamn window. But yeah, YouTube honestly might not be around in a year. So we might all be fucking migrating to somewhere because they are scum fucking all the people who would otherwise make the money. All the people who for years have been making the money. And it doesn't hit everyone. Like, I don't think a lot of the Let's Players are hit, but it's hit people. I've heard PewDiePie was hit. I've never seen a single one of his videos. I think I've heard something about Markiplier, who I do watch, you know. I've been watching Blasphemous HD, who does reaction videos to stuff, and he's been talking about it. And he just watches fucked up videos. He watches people do stupid shit and watches animals being silly, and occasionally he'll watch really messed up stuff. And it's fucking hitting his channel, you know. I mean, what the hell, man? And it's not like he's reacting to TV. He's reacting to funny videos that another guy has posted and compiled and shit that's made for that. So it's not like he's getting copyright strikes. He's just getting... his ads are gone. I mean, I'll tell you one thing right now. If I had tried to monetize, my revenue would be gone just from the profanity. Just from the casual profanity. And if anyone ever wants to know what that's about, in my case, it's the fact that I grew up literally not cussing until I was 15 or so. Like 13, 14. Well, no, it was probably like 12, 13 or so. 13, 14. That final answer. Starting my teens from 11 to 14, somewhere in that range. Seriously, that's how long it took me. And to this day, I still don't cuss in front of my mother on purpose. Or any of the adults in my family. And Bob Saget, of all people, once did a thing in stand-up where he basically said, I've done wholesome family entertainment for so long that I just need to cuss like this to cleanse myself. And that's just kind of how I am. You know, it's just kind of an emotional vent is what it is. And yeah, I do it too much, but I don't care. You know what? If you're going to make me adult, I'm gonna cuss about it. But yeah, so try and support your favorite YouTubers. That would be nice, because what else is the channel for? You don't want this to become the new fucking Netflix, do you? Because that's what they're trying to do to it. We have Netflix. It's called Netflix. And Hulu. And all the other fucking channels like that. I mean, YouTube, come on. The one thing you had going for you is what you're flushing down the goddamn toilet. Don't be MTV. You know, music television that has no music on it anymore, except as throwbacks to the fucking 90s. I remember when I was a kid, MTV was a thing. It's like, oh, MTV, it's so edgy. It's got all this music and it's got really edgy shows. And from what I've seen now, it's turned into a fucking hive of SJWs and political correctness. Which, personally, I don't care for. You know? There's a difference between political correctness and sensitivity. You know? Sensitivity is when someone asks you nicely, hey, don't do that around me, or don't say that around me, you know? Like, I don't have a lot of filters on my humor. If you've ever seen me on Star's stream, you may recall me watching her play Banjo-Kazooie, getting the power-up that lets her shoot eggs at Kazooie, and me referring to it as the abortion cannon. Well, if I've got a friend who's pro-life and hears me making that joke and says, hey, please don't do the abortion jokes around me, that's sensitivity. I'll stop because you asked me nicely, and you're offended. You're genuinely offended. Not offended on the behalf of someone. You personally are offended by the subject matter. Political correctness is when someone is offended on behalf of people who might not even be there. Like, if you're with 5 guys and you tell a joke about women, people are like, you should stop it. No. There's no woman there to be hurt. You know? Because I guarantee you, when 5 women are alone, they're telling guy jokes if they're talking about jokes. Because I have seen, keep in mind, I grew up around nieces, and I have seen the shit they gossiped about. You know? I mean, they can be kind of catty. They'll talk about anyone. But guys will make jokes about, we'll make jokes about our friends too. You know? You don't get offended on behalf of another person. I have a black friend who insisted that all of us refer to him as the N-word. You know? That was his insistence. Not that we call all black people that, but that we call him that. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. But even I had trouble doing that, but I didn't like, you shouldn't say that. You know, he's not here. Don't say that. No. If that's what he fucking wants, that's what he wants. You know? And that's not like, there are people, white people have no business saying that word ever. No. White people don't have business saying that word necessarily. Like, your black friend can't say, oh, you can say that word. No. Your black friend can say, you can say that word in reference to me. Personally, I don't get it, but then again, I don't have slavery in my culture, in the sense that my ancestors probably weren't enslaved. I've heard things about what happened to the Irish people, and my ancestry is Irish. Like, recent Irish. Like, I think either my grandmother or great-grandmother came from Ireland recent. You know, it's like 3rd or 4th generation American. Because I don't remember if my grandmother was born here, or if it was my mother and her generation that were born here, but yeah, I've got Irish in my family. Not that it matters to me. I don't identify as Irish in the slightest. I bring it up every now and then, but it's never really played a role in my life. You know what's really funny? I've got an Irish family and I don't drink. Way to buck the stereotype. I'm also neither Catholic nor Protestant, so that's a thing. But, yeah, let's just run through all the stereotypes. I do like green, though. That's a thing. But no, it's just, I don't have a word that you can call me to get instantly offended, unless I know you're trying to offend me. You know? Like, one of my friends uses the word autistic all the time. Like a fucking verbal tick. Like, oh, you're an Aussie. His word for it, his shorthand. And anytime anyone does something that's different from how he is, oh, you're autistic, that's that Aussie thinking. Oh, you got Asperger's. No, seriously, it's not funny anymore. It might have been funny at first, but it stopped being funny 3 fucking years ago. You know? And that's the problem, is he doesn't want to let a joke die. If a joke stops being funny, I will stop it unless I don't. If you tell me to stop something and you ask me nicely and I continue, that's a kicker that I don't like you. But there are very few people I can really say that to, that I both don't like and spend time around. So chances are that's not going to be a thing. I'm actually a puzzle to some extent to one of my friends, in the fact that she considers me like, oh, you usually have a pretty liberal mindset on stuff, but there's some stuff that I just don't buy into. That I don't like the title, oh, you're liberal, you're conservative. No, I'm a free-thinking individual. And I don't mean like, oh, I'm too cool for your labels, bro. No, I mean, I don't fit your labels. Like, there's shit, like fucking Chris Rock did the joke. There's shit I'm liberal on, shit I'm conservative on. Crime, I'm conservative on. Prostitution, I'm liberal. You know? There's some stuff that I just don't do. I don't buy into. You know? Matter of fact, there's a lot of social justice stuff that I listen to this and I'm like, really? Really? That's where you're going? I mean, I've said for a while now that, because I have an aunt who is so fucking redneck and fucking conservative beyond reason. Like, hardcore goddamn conservative. We had a conversation that involved Obama, and she mentioned something about, oh, we should roll back fucking gay rights and all that, and I'm sitting here thinking, aren't you really, really close to our gay cousin? You know? The one that you just... Because I have, like, 2 gay cousins. One is very antisocial. The other one, at least for a long time, all the adults in the family love to hang out with. She and him were real good friends. Because he's just as much of a redneck as she is. And I'm sitting here thinking, you want to fucking roll back gay rights? You've got the gay cousin right there. Best buddy. You two, good friends. And you... Really? He's got his old... I can't say older. I don't know what fucking order they were born in. His brother... matter of fact, out of those... the 3 of them, the 3 cousins I have in this particular bunch. I have more than that, obviously. The 3 cousins, 2 of them are gay. And one of them is a hardcore George Bush was a good guy conservative. And yet, despite that, he goes to fucking pride parades. Whether it's because he genuinely believes in that or he just loves his brothers, I don't know. But he goes to that. He supports gay rights. So do his children. You know, and I'm like, that's the problem. I had a friend, well, I have a friend, and I've tried to tell her, don't label shit. Labels fuck you over. Because the problem with the label is you slap a label on it and you're done. That it's like, oh, that's a thing. Oh, Kyrix is a liberal. No need to think about that. I'll just shorthand in everything. Ah, he's obviously for this. I might not be. Well, he's a liberal, so he's for this. Are you sure? Oh, he's definitely against this. Actually, no. You know, like I have, when it comes to criminal punishment, in many cases, like in the case of murderers and such, I have downright draconian fucking literal medieval fucking punishment suggestions for that conservatives will go like, dude, what, back it up, you know? And there's some shit where I'll see SJWs, I'm like, no, don't fucking do that. And it just, I don't enjoy labels, because to me a label is a lazy way to diminish a person. You know? Like you'd say, oh, Kyrix is a Let's Player. That's a descriptor, not a label. Because a descriptor, oh, he Let's Plays. What else does he do? Oh, he likes D&D. He goes up and he plays HeroClix once a week and Star Wars or Star Trek once a month. Every now and then he'll get a bug up his ass and play Civilization 5 for 6 goddamn hours straight. Not an exaggeration. I will literally pick a channel and just hit the playlist and just boom. Just disappear into Civ 5 for hours. You know? Mongolia. You know, he likes old cartoons from the 80s. He likes to watch documentaries. You know, he loves stand-up comedy. But if you just say, oh, I'm the Let's Player, well, there's more than that. There's more than that on my fucking channel. Well, not lately. But that's due to equipment problems, not due to me not wanting to. See, that's the problem. Anytime I don't have a video game up, I can get rambly or I can just be done in 3 minutes. It's anyone's guess. But yeah, I've gone so far off on this tangent that I don't even know where I started. But here's hoping to get shit done soon. I'm hoping fairly soon to get a, well, maybe not fairly soon, but at some point, I'm hoping to land a job. If I can land a job and keep it a stable job, you will see me setting aside money to start upgrading my computer. Once I get the computer I want, and it's going to take me months of saving by design. It's not like, oh, I I don't make enough. No, I want a good, expensive, couple $1,000 fucking desktop. I want a desktop computer that's going to be good for a couple years, and it's going to, at the very least, handle the shit I want to handle. Once that happens, you will see a couple new things on this channel. You will see me attempting live streams. You will see me doing more computer games, more PC games, and more high-end PC games. Like, I own Civ 5. I could have had Civ 6. Jay got me Civ 5 as a Christmas present. He offered to do 6, but we looked at my specs and like, no, that ain't happening. So yeah, that could have been Civ 6. I have on my Steam tons of games. I've got freaking Castle Crashers. I've got, Starbound. I've got Windward. I've got all these games. Most of them are kind of flowy, kind of just sit down and veg out games that don't really have a plot to them. It's just kind of fun. But those are games that I can play. Like, I can get some friends together and we'll fucking run. We will run the hell out of some Castle Crashers, I want to do Civ 5. I want to get like 4 or 5 people together and do a Civ 5 Let's Play. Or at least I'll record it like a Let's Play. I would live stream, but it's too easy to cheat, Just have everyone go on random, get a Civ, and just play the game. And record it, and we'll, once a week we'll do a recording or some shit, and we'll play through all of Civ 5 until somebody wins, I'd love to do that. I would love to do, like I said, live streams. I would love to do all sorts of games. I want to get an HD capture card and get a PS4 or an Xbone, probably PS4. I want to get more systems. I want to get more games. I want to get all sorts of shit and get it going. But I also want to get a group together and start running D&D. Because I've tried a couple times to get Fantasy Grounds to work. Like I had, I had a license for a while, but I couldn't get the fucking thing to work. And I really blame my computer because it's just twitchy. It just would not register that I was online at all. But when I get the desktop, I'll get Fantasy Grounds on there. I'll get a permanent license, so I'm not doing this month-by-month shit. I'll save up like $150, whatever, and just, bam, permanent lifetime license. And save up some money and get like the Monster Manual, the DMG, all the shit I need. Spend about a month or so just fucking around with it, getting the campaign going, building up, getting maps, or figuring out how to use the ones I have. And then I'll get a group together and I will fucking run a weekly D&D game. I might run 2 or 3 of them. I want to run D&D Real. I'd like to run, if they ever come out with books for it, I'd like to run Dragonlance. I'd like to run just modules, Hell, I might do the pony one too. Because there's a book for that and it's just minor conversions. I'd love to run that. I'd love to play that. But I mean, D&D, live streams, more stuff with friends. Because right now, Anubis is the only one of my friends that I Let's Played with that's even in the state anymore. Or at least that will consistently do it. And I can't even get him up here to finish Res 5. Resi 5. I'm trying, believe me. But, and even then, he's probably going to be moving to a new county in the near future, so that might disappear as well. Which means the only way I'm getting stuff done is on the internet. Well, there are 2 options for that. One involves editing, which I don't know how to do, and Eisen can't really tell me because he's kind of in flux himself. And the other thing is to do it over Skype. Well, the problem is, with this computer, the instant Skype comes into the picture, lag. If not for the game, then for the video. Sometimes both. So yeah, I want to get a computer powerful enough that I can run Skype with 6 people while hosting a game and not a drop of lag. But that's in the future. Who can tell what that's going to be like? Anyway, we're going to bring this to an end because if I don't, I'll be here till 8 in the morning. So goodbye, everybody.